Welcome to the Jenks and the Hammer podcast. Bringing you the latest NFL news and insights from the perspectives of two die-hard fans. Join your hosts, Grayson Jenkins and John Hammerly, as they dive deep into the world of football, along with a special focus on the New Orleans Saints and the Green Bay Packers. So sit back, relax, and get ready for some football talk with Jenks and the Hammer.
Hey, here we go!
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Jenks and the Hammer podcast. Hope you guys had a good weekend. It's Monday morning. We are officially 3 days away from the NFL draft.
Draft week.
Let's go. This is awesome. Yeah. We're going to start off with some NFL draft news. CJ Stroud, we're going to get into it. And today, the main portion of the episode, we're going to be breaking down our top four safeties, corners, and offensive linemen of the NFL draft. So let's get right into it.
Let's do it. All right, guys, getting right into it. We had a lot of news this weekend with CJ Stroud. The S2 tests were revealed. The scores were revealed this weekend. We had a lot of high scores and then a low score that was really surprising around the NFL that may drop someone's draft stock a whole lot. So at number one, we had Bryce Young with a 98%, which is extremely high. So more and more, it's going to be more likely that Bryce Young is going to the Panthers at number one.
Yeah, it seems like a lock at this point.
Yeah, these scores and his performance on the field for Alabama and big moments in any games, really.
Let's give the people a recap of what this test really means.
Yeah,
it's not that much of an IQ, right? It's
more of a reaction to distractions, everything kind of like that a quarterback may face in an NFL game.
Yeah,
basically, it's kind of like a coach's guide to how their quarterback is going to react to certain situations. Mm-hmm. It helps the a bad score by all means is not good for a quarterback, but a good score doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be he's going to perform well in the NFL. It's more of the mental side, but again, the quarterback still needs to have that physical side and be able to actually perform on the field as well. So the surprising score that I had for you guys is CJ Stroud. Normally I would have guessed probably this guy was going to get above, maybe 75% and up, If you're a top 5 draft pick, that's what teams expect. If you were to tell me this guy got a bad score, I'd say, hey, you probably got a 50, He got an 18% out of 100. If you think about that, that is horrible. That is just bottom feeder of this test. And I don't really know how NFL teams are going to react, but I think all the fans out there are reacting like this guy is either a little bit slower than all the other quarterbacks or he's got something wrong with him. But I think
maybe he's just a bad test taker like old Hammer here. But,
yeah, he could be like you, John. I don't know. But
never know.
But I think I think this might cause some NFL teams to back up on him. They might bounce him down their draft board a little bit, and Anthony Richardson could come up to that number 2 spot as a quarterback. But I really think he's still going to be top 10. I don't think he's going to fall out of the top 10. I saw some people talking, hey, this might drop him out of the top 10. But, I really don't think it's going to do that. He's had too good of performances on the field to impact his draft stock that much. But, I really think CJ Stroud should still go number 2. I think teams are putting a little bit too much in this. Fans are putting a little bit too much into this. But we'll see on draft night.
Yeah, I still think he goes top 5 still.
Yeah, definitely top 5.
He drops a tiny bit, but I mean, you guys are gonna find out Wednesday night when we release our mock drafts for the upcoming draft. But I see him as the number 3 quarterback taken off the board.
Who do you think? I think we'll wait for
But Wednesday, I think he's going to be in the top 5. So
yeah, I think the big thing we talked about was that the Texans were already possibly thinking about CJ Stroud not being their quarterback, at least at the number 2 spot. Maybe if he falls to him at 12.
They're not sold.
But yeah, I don't think they're sold on him like Bryce Young is sold to the Panthers. So I'm really interested to see if the Texans select him at number 2. We'll see. All right, guys, before we get into our next segment, we got an exciting news story for you guys. Mike Florio out of PFT is reporting that there's talks around the league that Anthony Richardson may go number 5 to Seattle, which is
Wow.
A big news drop before draft night a few nights from now. I really think that Anthony Richardson may go late top 10. But I don't see him going number 5. We talked about it. It's definitely a possibility. But I don't know his bust potential is a little bit higher than his boom potential. So I'd say that I really don't expect him to go that high. I think he might end up at 7 with the Raiders, somewhere we can develop a couple years. But I'd be interested, and he also could develop behind Geno Smith. So
Yeah, in Seattle.
we'll see.
Yeah. I think. I mean, my prediction. I think Anthony Richardson is gonna. Some team's gonna trade up to go take him. That's my prediction. I think like we just heard with CJ Stroud, his stock is kind of dropping a little.
Mm-hmm.
Probably means that Anthony Richardson, his stock is rising. So it's going to be interesting how it plays out. Can't wait for Thursday night.
All right, guys, hopping right into our first position of the draft. We got our 4 top safeties. John, number 4, get right into it.
Number 4, we got Jamie Robinson from Florida State, 5'11", 203 pounds. At the combine, he ran at 4.59, so kind of slow, but he bounced back on the bench press with 23 reps. So that's pretty impressive for a safety.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
But like I said, with that 40, that was a real theme for these safeties in this draft. No one ran good times. There's really not it's not a good safety class. That's just
it's not the best.
Not.
It's pretty average, I'd say.
Yeah. The number 1 guy we have in the league, he's probably gonna be a nickel. Right? He's not really a deep safety. We're gonna get into that later, but not a good safety class. No one ran any good times. But Robinson, he plays with great energy, good motor, flies down the field, good tackler. He's not a bad blitzer too. He can also play nickel. Fights through the hands of the receivers well. He's a bit undersized, but all in all, he's going to be a really good player. He's probably going to be a day 2 guy. Probably third round.
Day 2,
maybe
late second, third.
I think third round, maybe 4th, if safeties, if they fall a little. But third round, 4th round, Jamie Robinson.
Yeah, at number 3, we got a solid guy. Nothing insane. Like John said, none of these guys right off the board are these are day 1 instant stars at safety. It's not one of those classes. But number 3, I got Sidney Brown from Illinois. He's going to be a 5'10", 211-pound safety. So he's a little bit shorter than but I mean, guys like Budda Baker, I believe he's relatively shorter. Tyrann Mathieu, these guys can prove that smaller safeties and height doesn't really matter at the safety at the NFL level. If you got it, you got it. That's what matters. But Sidney Brown ran a 4.47 40, and he benched 23 reps, which it's solid. It's nothing insane, but these are solid numbers for a safety at the NFL level. He's a physical safety. He likes getting up in the box. He's also a ball hawk, though. He had 6 picks last season. This guy can do a little bit of everything. So I really like him. I think he's solid. I think he's going to be a starter wherever he goes. But again, like I said, I don't know if he's going to be a star. He might not be a Tyrann Mathieu level guy that's holy crap, he's recognized around the league. But this guy could be solid in a year or two. So I'm going to see where he goes. His trouble, though, is he isn't the best with wrapping up. He's good at tackling, but sometimes he'll miss that wrap up, or his arms won't wrap around the tackle. So he might miss a few, but he's relatively solid. And he has poor footwork at sometimes, which, I mean, that's something that can be coached, which is a great thing for teams. So if you see the thing like footwork or something like that, it's something that teams can coach up. So I think Sidney Brown's going to be a day 2, or I'd say early day 2 pick, mid to early second round. At number 2, this guy's one of the most intriguing safeties, I'd say, in my opinion. His name's Antonio Johnson out of Texas A&M. He's 6'2", 198 pounds. He ran a 4.52 40, but here's the interesting thing from his combine. He benched 8 reps. 8 reps. And for you folks who don't know, 8 reps at the NFL level is very, very weak. I honestly thought it was a typo or something on NFL.com when I saw it, but he had 8 reps of 225. And in case you guys don't know, John's a bit of a musclehead, so he can probably do 2 or 3 times that, at least. I did 235 for 5 reps, And for you guys that don't know me, I'm a 6 foot, or I'm not even 6 foot. I'm 5'9". I'm 160 pounds soaking wet. So I'm a small guy, and I can bench probably the same amount of reps at 225 as an NFL safety. So, that's an intriguing thing right off the bat for NFL teams to look at. However, this guy's physical on the field, which looking at those numbers, you wouldn't know, but
he can hit.
He can hit. Like you see him on tape. This guy brings the hit to every single offensive player he goes at. He's going to run down and he's going to keep his feet moving. He's going to hit him backwards. So I'm really intrigued. He also is good at covering in the slot, but it's more of the slower kind of guy, slower slots, bigger tight ends. That's who he's good at covering. So if the guy like a speedy slot like Rashid Shaheed of the Saints, had to plug that in there a little bit. If he's lined up against them, I'd take that matchup every day. Yeah, I mean, Christian Watson, either of them, like they're torching a guy like Antonio Johnson because he's not quick enough to keep up with him. So I think this guy, he's going to be a late day one pick. I've seen him mock there. He might be an early second round. But I've also seen a couple mocks where he lands on the Saints. But I don't think the Saints need him. I really don't. No. We signed Lonnie Johnson Jr. We signed Jonathan Abram. I really think that I think safety is not a position of need unless they draft a guy maybe late. If they really like a guy late, sure, but I just don't see it happening. So
yeah. Well, the Packers, they are a team that needs a safety, and this next guy could be that guy. Even though I don't really see him as a deep safety, just with his skill set. But number one, we got Brian Branch from Alabama, 6 foot, 193 pounds at the combine, ran a 4.58, nothing great, plays way faster than that. And just with his skill set and the way he plays, I mean, this guy can hit too. Great tackler. I saw something like he only missed, I don't know, in that 3 years playing or something, he only missed like 8 tackles or something like that. He's awesome in the open field. He really plays that nickel for Alabama. And that's where I would play him too in the NFL, right? I mean, if you don't have much experience playing deep safety in college, you know what I mean? You're not going to come over to the NFL and do that
be a deep safety
and play against Tyreek Hill. You know what I mean? It's just not going to happen. I don't see him like that. He struggles in coverage a little bit, flat-footed. Another big thing too, which jumped out on film, he can blitz. He comes off that edge.
And that's valuable in the NFL, yeah.
It's big. So I love him in the nickel. You let him man up, tight ends, backs curl flat. Let him just, zone in the flat. I love that for him. That's where he's going to thrive. He's legit like Buda Baker. He's like Buda Baker.
Buda Baker number 2.
Yeah. But, he's a little undersized, but I believe he's got extremely high potential to be a really good player in this league. I would love for my Packers to take him. Not at 15, though. If the Packers believe
they trade up?
No. They got to trade down.
Where would they take him, though?
20s. In the 20s.
So trade down from 15 and okay.
Yeah.
I see what you mean.
Yeah. I think 15 is a little too high for him.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I think 15 is a little too high for him because he's not even a true safety.
Yeah,
you could put him at safety, but here's the thing: the Packers don't even really need a nickel because they got Darnell Savage, they got Russell Douglas, they could stick in there. But he's definitely someone I've seen come a lot in Packer mock drafts. I select him at 15. I think if they really do like him, I'm fine with it. I love, I was a safety. I love it. Kid can hit. But I would definitely trade back into the 20s to go scoop him up.
Yeah, and I think the intriguing thing about him is right now, like the first round is kind of, I see a lot of a few quarterbacks, a lot of edges, offensive line, edge, corners, right now, like corners. Safety is not receivers. It's not the position of choice right now for the first round. No. So this guy could end up falling late in the 20s, mid 20s, and I'm honestly interested. If he falls to 29, I can see the Saints picking him because at 29, the Saints are we have that sort of availability where we can pick the best player available at 29. So if he falls to there, I could definitely see the Saints picking him. It's their type of guy. CJ Gardner-Johnson, for you those who don't know, played on the Saints, loved him. We traded him because he was just there was rumors that he was not being good for the team. He was kind of being a cancer in the locker room. I don't really believe that because I loved him. I thought he had a great personality, but that's the sort of guy they like on defense, a guy that can play a nickel, play anywhere around the field,
Yeah,
that's what they want. So
Swiss Army knife. Yeah.
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 So I'd be interested to see if the Saints, if he's there at 29, if we pick him.
Yeah, but like you said, um, he's gonna go. He's gonna go late first round. There's gonna be more tight ends taken in the first round than there will be safeties.
Yeah.
So that's just the NFL we live in today.
All right, guys, our next position group is another secondary group. We got corners, which is a huge class for this draft. I think there's a lot of good corners. So this was a hard one to decide, really. There's a few guys that we could switch for 4, maybe 3. Like, there's a little bit of a debate there. So I'm interested to see how these teams have these guys ranked on their draft boards. John, you got number 4. Let's get right into it.
Yeah, Deontay Banks for Maryland, 6 foot, 197 pounds, ran a 4.35 at the combine.
That's impressive.
Yeah. He's good with every coverage, really. Every zone, every man. There's not a lot of weaknesses. Usually you got a guy who struggles in zone, good at man, bad at man, good at, you know what I mean? So he can really do it all. His lower body is very, very smooth. His back pedal, his weaving, it's really natural. He's bad against hard route stems at the top, and he gives up contain against the run. We've been seeing him really climb up draft boards, so he could maybe go end it first, but he will definitely be an early second round pick.
Yeah, I mean, like we said, it really all depends on like the runs. Like we've talked about that through every single one of our like our position rankings. If there's a run on these guys, like their stock could instantly bump up a round, like maybe even 2. Like it just depends. So,
but I mean, we think there's a very good chance that all 4 of these guys on the list is going to be taken first round.
Yeah,
right.
Like, that's what we're saying, and I think like the crazy thing is like 4, like Deontay Banks, like there's a couple other guys we could have put in there, like Cam Smith out of South Carolina. Like there's a couple other guys that we really like for the first round. So Thursday night's gonna be madness for this position. I'm interested to see what happens. At number 3, we got Joey Porter Jr. out of Penn State. This guy is an amazing press corner. Like I'm a cornerback, so I know how hard it is to press. Like that's insane. I think it's the hardest position in football outside of quarterback. Arguably, it could be harder than quarterback because you're going backwards. You're doing everything reacting to the guy in front of you backwards. Your footwork, your hands, everything comes into play. So this guy Joey Porter had a 4.46 40. He had 17 reps on the bench, which is pretty good for a corner. Like as you're pressing, like that's what you want. Like you want to have a strong press. He's very, very physical. Like I said, he uses his hands to correct his mistakes in his footwork, which is a positive. And he also is tall. He's a taller corner, like 6'2", so a little bit on that higher height range, I'd say. So for a corner to be 6'2", he's able to high point the ball. So if a quarterback throws a high ball, he's able to swipe at the guy's hands, knock it away, or high point the ball and get a pick for himself. So NFL teams want to see that. I think he's going to possibly climb up draft boards even on draft night. But the thing is, with his physicality comes some cons. So he uses his hands a little bit too much in coverage. On the press, he comes a little bit grabby. And in the NFL, a little bit of grabbiness, not good. You know what comes with those? Yellow flags. And refs these days love helping the offense. So corners that are a little bit too grabby aren't good. It's not what the NFL wants these days. Like you saw Sauce Gardner last year, he had to wear like extremely large gloves in training camp, prevent the penalties. So look what that did for him. He was number 1 corner last year as a rookie. Or number 1 corner rookie. So Joey Porter Jr., I definitely see him first round, mid to late first round, I'd say. Yeah. I'm interested to see where he falls and what team he lands on.
Yeah, I think one of the big landing spots that I've heard, if they don't take a tackle, if a lot of the big time tackles get picked in the top 15 is the Steelers. I think the Steelers are a real possibility. There. Yeah. And I think they're picking 17, 18. So I think that's right in
it's that
perfect range.
Middle ground. Yeah.
Yeah, because I think these next 2 guys are going top 10.
Yeah, so number 2, and I agree with that top 10 statement. These 2 guys are studs. Like John and I are gifted to have teams with studs at corners, so we've been able to witness it. Like Marshawn Lattimore, Jair Alexander, they're top 5 corners in the league, hands down. These guys are great.
Lattimore.
No, Lattimore's top 5 easily. We're not getting into the debate. He wasn't healthy. No, he wasn't healthy this year, and he still balled out. We're not getting into it. We're not getting into it.
Right.
Maybe another day later after the draft. So at number 2, we got Christian Gonzalez out of Oregon. This guy, I honestly said he could be the top corner in the draft, but the other guy is so good that it's kind of not even. It's a hard debate.
Other guy's more physical.
Yeah, exactly. But both guys, I think, are going to be studs. So Christian Gonzalez ran a 4.38 40, a 41.5-inch vert, and had an 11-foot 1-inch broad jump. And as a corner, you want to have those athletic traits to you, so you can make quick cuts. You can do all this stuff super fast because footwork and everything like that on the line. First breaks as a receiver, if you can cover those and you can match those breaks, that's going to benefit you that much more in the NFL. As if you have a good pass rush. If you don't have a good pass rush, you're kind of screwed. But that doesn't really matter for this. So Christian Gonzalez is great all around. I really think he is. He's extremely quick in all his cuts and breaks with receivers. He has great hips. He's great coverage. His cons, though, he just needs better ball skills, breaking out, ripping at the hands. Coach David, our secondary coach, always taught us to fight with the hands. So that's something we had to go through every single day of practice. But this guy, Christian Gonzalez, could use some of that. So really, like I said, just breaking up the ball with the receiver. That's really all he has to work on. Maybe some tackling. Other than that, I think this guy's a top 10 draft pick, and I think he's going to be solid for whatever team he lands on.
Yeah, and I think for these next two guys, I think the two big landing spots are really the Raiders and the Lions. The Raiders, the Lions, maybe Atlanta. Wouldn't be surprised if maybe Philly takes one. But,
yeah, but I think Philly, if he's still available, they might.
No, never mind, not Philly, because they brought back Bradbury and Slay.
Yeah, they got both.
But those three teams right there, Detroit, the Raiders, and Atlanta. Those three teams. That's where these two guys are gonna land somewhere in there. Mm-hmm. So number one, we got Devon Witherspoon from Illinois, 5'11", 181 pounds. Had a great year in 2022, allowing a completion rate of just 34.9% and had 14 pass breakups. He flies down and run support. He's a physical football player, especially at that corner position. He's also matched at the catch point, fights through his hands, like you said, just like Gonzalez. Thing about him, though, he's very handsy, especially in the first 5 yards in coverage, which is not good. It's going to lead to a lot of penalties. And he bites hard on action and double moves. And I'm a little concerned with his speed at the next level. I think that could hurt him a little bit, but he's awesome. He's going to go top 10, like I said, Raiders or Lions or Falcons. And yeah.
All right, guys, big last segment here. And I mean that literally. We got our linemen. Last group of the position rankings. Let's go. We're getting ready for the draft.
Let's end it.
If you guys listen to all these, we thank you so much. But here we go, linemen. At number 4, I'm going to get right into it. We got our only guard on this list, Osiris Torrance out of Florida. This guy's big. He's 6'5", 330 pounds. He benched 23 reps, which is pretty solid. It's not anything insane for a lineman in the NFL, but it's still, it's solid. It's like average. 5'3", 140, so he's a little bit slower than I'd like as a pulling guard or a guard that needs to get to the second level. So that's one of his cons, is really just his speed. Getting to that second level is a little bit of a struggle. He can sometimes struggle, as I said, again, with agility and speed. He struggles with that, with quicker pass rushers. They sometimes get by him a lot faster. But with his size, he fills up gaps. This guy, he has solid hands. He's smart with his assignments. He gets his hands on guys, and he's able to stop them from getting in. And that's really what a team cares about. And on run plays, his size helps him move these guys out of the way. Like on run plays, if he's blocking a guy out of the gap to the left or to the right, whichever way the run needs to go, he's going to do it. So this guy's going to be a great guard in the league. I can see him developing maybe a year or two behind a starting guard and then becoming a great starter for whatever team he lands on. And I think he's going to be early second round, late first. That's where I see him falling, possibly to the Saints. The Saints need a new guard instead of Andrews Pete. He's kind of been battling with injuries over the last few years. The guy's solid, but he's not anything insane. And I feel like young guards are more valuable than guards that are injured, guards that are kind of not available all the time. So this guy could be that for the Saints. So after a year behind Andrews Pete, he could step up. I'm going to just see if the Saints pick him at number 29. And then at number 3, we got Anton Harrison from Oklahoma. This guy's a tackle. We got 2 more tackles after this. He's 6'4", 315 pounds. And here's a crazy stat line. He had nine pressures allowed on 447 attempts pass blocking, which is, I don't even know the math, but that's a great percentage. He's good hands on the line. He doesn't catch. He's able to climb to linebackers and get to that second level, which is all NFL pros. That's what NFL coaches want. The cons, he's just not the strongest. His hands and his feet aren't really well connected as a lineman. That's important. So when you move your legs, you want to move your feet as well, get on that block. So he needs to get better at that, but that's all coaching. So I'm interested to see if he's able to do that. This guy's a first-round pick as well. We really think there's a lot of tackles that are going to be picked in this first round. So it was hard for us to only have 4 linemen, but these next 2 tackles are great as well.
Yeah, this is definitely one of the best position groups in this draft. The tackles are stacked. 2 guys that just missed the list because we wanted to include more of the interior offensive linemen. Darnell Wright from Tennessee and Broderick Jones from Georgia. They're going to be
solid guys, yeah.
They're going to be first-round picks, maybe top 20. I can really see like 4 tackles going in the top 20. I can.
It's definitely a possibility, and like even 5. Like we said,
Maybe
we already
5.
got these 3 guys.
Yeah.
And those 2 that we didn't even include. So
yeah,
who knows?
So at number 2, we got Paris Johnson Jr. From Ohio State, 6'6", 313 pounds. He's awesome. The problems with him though, not much pop on contact. I don't. He's definitely not the most physical lineman in this draft. Very average body control, and he leans a lot, which means you're gonna get.
It's not the best for a tackle, especially at the NFL level.
Put on your face, yeah. He's like I said, he's gonna go top 15, top 20. I've seen him mocked to the Packers a lot at 15. Wouldn't mind it. I'm hoping for JSN. Wouldn't mind it though. Got to protect Jordan Love. But we'll see where he lands. Number 1, we got Peter Skronowski.
Skronsky, yeah.
Skronsky.
Yeah.
I spelled it wrong. From Northwestern, he's 6'4", 313 pounds. He needs to alter his pass sets and hand attacks to become less predictable. He struggles a lot at tackle. A lot of people think he's gonna be guard. One scout said that he could see him being a Pro Bowl guard, and he would just be like an average tackle. So, that's very intriguing for teams because if he's got the versatility. He might be awesome at guard, but he's got so much experience at tackle that that's just big time. That's why he's going to be the first offensive lineman taken. Really, because
he's top 10.
He's the best, but
he could be.
He's also got the versatility to play inside and outside, which is huge. I am going number 9 to the Bears. That's kind of what I think right now.
Great pick, yeah, for Justin Fields.
If not, you would think Tennessee, Houston, but he's going to go top 12, I would think. Right?
I think he has to. I think he's too talented not to. And like you said, he has that versatility. And with NFL linemen who are getting hurt a good amount, it's hard to stay healthy when you're in the trenches like that, getting beaten around all the time. So this guy having that ability to go from guard to tackle, that's what a team wants, especially with like the Bears.
Absolutely.
They need all that protection for Justin Fields.
Yeah, but I could see him getting taken first. At number 13, the Jets are definitely going to take an offensive lineman. A tackle. They need to improve that offense line, especially when they got Aaron coming to town. But there's going to be a run on tackles, believe it or not, early. And we just got an update right here. Levis is favored to go number 2 now to the Texans.
Will Levis? Who said that?
Bleacher Report.
There's no way. I don't know. I think Will Levis is. There's no shot. I mean,
Kentucky
it is kind of a Texans pick, but
Kentucky QB is now plus 125 to be taken second, up from plus 3,000 2 weeks ago.
yeah, there's just no. I don't.
If Houston takes Will
There's
Levis
no
at
way.
2,
That's
it's
a
just,
joke. I think D'Amico Ryans is. I don't think he's dumb enough.
I don't
So
think so. I think we'll come back Thursday morning, but
yeah,
I don't think it's be Will Levis. So, hey guys, thanks for sticking around. That's gonna be it for this episode. I just wanted to say that, like we said, this is gonna be our last position rankings episode for the upcoming draft. We got the mock draft coming out for you guys Thursday morning. Then Monday morning we'll probably do a recap of the draft, and then after that, this channel is gonna be a lot more fun. It's gonna be more active. We're gonna get guest speakers on too. More debates, not really
more rankings, that kind of stuff, all that kind of fun stuff for you guys.
Yeah, not really breaking down players like this. Just did it for the draft, but it's gonna be a lot more active. Make sure to tune in for the mock draft. That's gonna be a big episode. But that being said, make sure to follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at Jenks Hammer Pod. You can listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube at Jenks Hammer Podcast. And if you're watching on YouTube, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Please subscribe. We need it.
Yeah, we're at
and
19.
Comment. We want to hear
for
it.
A little while.
I know. Let's crack 20 for the draft. It's pretty sad, but
yeah. And in case you guys didn't know, we're gonna do a live stream. It's gonna be hype. John and I are gonna try to do a live stream at least, get it together.
Try.
We're gonna try to have guests, like all of our friends, all of our fans from different teams come in,
react to their pick.
Yeah, we'll send it out on Twitter if we're able to do that for you guys. So keep an eye out.
Yep.
Thank you for tuning in to the Jenks and the Hammer podcast. Remember to leave a review and follow all of our social media pages at Jenks Hammer Pod for more content. Until next time, who dat and go Pack Go!